nobody can live up to that introduction.
You will for me, so, yeah.
Well, thank you all. This is pretty basic. I'll just get right into the reading. As I said, it's April 30th, 1998. Can you hear me okay? How's that?
Yeah.
All right. It's April 30th, 1998. The narrator, Matt, was in the apartment that he shares with his cousin Daryl. They had spent the morning at the funeral of a mutual friend, Tony Griffin. His death has an impact on Daryl's life. And in the evening, Daryl had a date with his date, Lisa Nelson, and she's expecting him to propose to her. So this is after the date. Daryl is telling Matt what happened. We got a table and ordered our meals, Daryl said. Her anticipation was palpable, Matt. So I started the conversation asking her how she liked her job. It's okay, I guess, she said. I suppose, like any job, there are good things about it and bad. I said that I've been working for Hathaway for almost 5 years now, and to this day, I don't know why. She listed the normal reasons, to pay for rent, food, clothing, etc. That wasn't what I meant. So I asked her, besides for the paycheck, why did she work for the agency? She said it was because she liked the people. She liked creating ways to help clients sell their products and services. For her, it was fun helping clients create an image, a brand, a positive story to sell their stuff. Do you know what I do? I asked her. One of those accounts things, she said. Accounts payable, I told her. I explained that I made sure that every invoice that came into the company matched the purchase order that we placed and actually received from the vendor, and entered the information into a computer system. Then twice a month, I processed the checks to pay the invoices. Then I asked her why. Why what? That's what she said. I asked, why am I doing this? She gave me a blank look. I asked her, is that all we're meant to be? Little cogs in some corporate machine? Her response was classic Lisa. She said that we didn't graduate from an Ivy League school, and our parents weren't millionaires that owned businesses that they could groom us to own and manage. We just have to work our way up that corporate ladder. Today I'm paying vendors, someday I'll be an executive, either at Hathaway or somewhere else, once I get that valuable experience. Yep, that sounds like Lisa, I said. So I asked her, why would I want to become an executive or hold some high management position within a company? What did she say? She didn't. The waitress brought our food and we ate. She finally broke the awkward silence by changing the conversation. She asked me if I was excited for tomorrow, especially if we have something special to tell everyone. It couldn't be avoided any longer. She not only opened the door, but pulled my ass through its threshold. So I reached into my pocket and pulled out the ring. You didn't, I said. I did, Daryl replied. What was her answer? Before I could give her the chance to answer, I asked her if she wanted to hear about its history. She was so dazzled that she said yes. So I told her. The ring was in my pocket when the bullets came at Tony and me. Then the words came out more fluid than I ever imagined. That night, my life changed, I told her. At first, it changed because I had made the decision that we were going to get married and have a wonderful life together. Just moments later, I was in a hospital, learning that the person who saved my life lost his in the process. On the one hand, I should be grateful that some stroke of luck kept me from getting hit with a bullet. On the other, it has caused me to do some soul searching, for which I had no real man to help me. I wondered what would have happened if I had died then. What has my life been about? What is my life about? What is life about? And there seemed one common element that emerged in my brief search to answer those questions. My life has been about other people's expectations and plans, without me ever questioning. Lisa, I said, you are a wonderful girl. I truly do love you, and I'm asking you to marry think you should know what my plans are. I have to get out of this box. This isn't a life I've been living. It's been something else. It's been a script. A script that I have been sold by my mother, by my stepfather, by Arthur, by my company, by my co-workers, by this society, and yes, even by you. Go to school and get good grades, so you can go to college and get good grades there. So you can get a good job, so that you can get a good paycheck, with opportunities to get bigger paychecks, so that you can get a good wife and have good kids, to buy a good home in a good neighborhood where there's a good school district, and take good family vacations together, and continue to accumulate good income so the kids can go to a good college, and then you can retire with a good pension, and then have a good death and arrive at that good place called heaven. Anything different than this is to be looked down upon as some lesser way of life. But what happens when a random act interrupts that? What happens when you're killed during some stage of that? Or disabled? Or diagnosed with a terminal disease? Or divorced? Or your spouse dies? Or becomes disabled? Or is diagnosed with a terminal disease? Or a child dies? Or you lose your job and you don't get hired anywhere else? Why is that the script? And why am I not happy living that script? And why haven't I noticed that I was living a script I wasn't happy doing? Daryl stopped. He took a breath as the emotions of the moment had been rekindled. I have applied for a passport, I told her. Daryl continued. You apply for one too. We'll have a simple wedding. I'll quit my job. You quit yours. And let's travel the world together to really experience and learn about other people, other cultures, and about ourselves and life's real purpose. After a pause, I asked her what her response was to that. She laughed, he said. Not the kind of laughter that comes after telling a good joke, but condescending. She said that I had to be kidding. That is so sweetly romantic, but completely impractical. Live in other countries? How would we make money, was her concern. I told her that I have a good amount saved up. We'd sell our cars. That would give us a good start. Then we could work odd jobs during our travels. Odd jobs, I asked. I'm sure she went for that. She did. She said it made more sense to work at a single job here and build a career where we could make more and more money and just visit these other countries, like on a cruise or tour. I told her it made sense if you were happy with the script. She defended that that was the way life was. I said that it is one way to live life. I think there are other ways, and I want to look at them. I need to examine them, because I cannot live like this and be happy. Before last Thursday, I probably could have. I probably would have recited my lines, put on my costumes of the roles I would play, and live a life of quiet desperation. But I have been given a second chance. You are serious about this? I said. Yes. You are going to quit your job and travel the world? Yes. So then what happened, I asked. I told her that I didn't expect her answer right now, but to think about it. I told her that I wanted her to know that I do love her, and that I want to marry her. It may not have been exactly as she imagined, but then again, I'm not exactly the same person I was a week ago. I got up and refilled our cups with tea. I handed Daryl his cup and then sat down again. So then what happened, I asked, after a long, slow sip. She asked me to drive her home. We didn't say a thing to each other until we got to her place. She said she'd see me tomorrow at Swan's with our group, then got out of the car and walked to her apartment building. Well, you got her thinking, I'm sure, I said. Yes, she needs to process this. I doubt she'll give me an answer tomorrow at Swan's. Unless she's so dead set against the idea and mourns her plans tonight, I said. Daryl turned his head and looked at me. Not that she's going to, of course. That's the thing that's weird, Mac. He sipped his tea, then pulled back his lips and smacked them. I really have no preference as to what she decides. If she accepts my proposal, then I'll love her unconditionally and we'll be on our way. If not, well, then I'll go it alone. It's not like dating the past couple of years was like living together or seeing each other on a daily basis. A couple of times a week at most. It is really not how I expected to ever wait for an answer to a marriage proposal. I think you're just numb right now, I said. Wait until you get that answer before you decide if you're going to feel the pain or joy. Feel it then. You're right, I just have to wait this out. You're really going to quit your job and see the world? He nodded. You're welcome to come with me. 3's crowd. I mean, if Lisa declines the offer. We do plan on leaving. When do you plan on leaving? How long do you think you'll be gone? Well, I have to wait for my passport to come. That's going to take a few weeks. As for how long am I going to be gone? I don't know. When I get some clarity, I'll probably come back. But who knows how long that could be. As tempting as that offer is, I think I'm going to pass, I said. Plus, I'm going to have to find a new place to live because I can't afford this place on my own. You don't have to do that, Daryl said. I'll give you my half of the rent for the year. I certainly can't take everything with me, so I might as well leave it here and have a place to come back to when I'm ready to return. We sat silently for a few minutes. What do you think you'll find? I said. He sipped his tea. I think I'll find out how little I really know.
Again, Michael's book is The Why in Life. Do we have any questions from the audience for Michael tonight? And Carol.
How much of this is autobiographical? Your life story?
None of the events that happened in the story happened. Do we take things from our lives and use them as raw materials? Yeah, but no, nothing's autobiographical.
Anybody else? Go ahead, sir.
What triggered the idea to write this?
The seeds of this go back to 1984. I saw the movie The Razor's Edge, starring Bill Murray. And it was, when I saw the movie, it was like, this is the kind of story I want to write. And then I read Somerset Maugham's novel, The Razor's Edge, which it was based on. It's a different structure to that story than how that movie plays out. And then Tyrone Powers, the movie in the 40s or 50s where Tyrone Powers was the star, is closer to how the book is. But it was a type of, the story got me and it was like, that's what I wanted to write. But back in the 80s, I wasn't skilled enough for that. And I'm developing along the way. And then finally, it just all the pieces kind of came together. And history helped. Because I wanted to try to bring that story to the future, to the present. And it wasn't until recent events that made me able to do that.
Any other questions from Mark? Yes, sir?
Yeah, how long was the process of writing? How long was it? Years to start and stop? Continuous?
Well, the seed was planted the day before, so that's no, when I finally sat down and started to plot it out in 2006, so it's been about a 6-7 year process.
You have a full-time job as part-time? Or
Yes.
like handle that?
Yeah, I practice law. I'm used to being in front of one judge, not a bunch.
Now, do you have a regular pattern or write it at certain times of the night or the weekend to keep people in continuously?
What I try to do is I'm in a great situation right now where my job is not the major income. I'm sort of the grade. So I'm able to work my law schedule. It's my own practice. And I segment my days into 3 parts, morning, afternoon, midnight. If I've got to be in court in the morning, then that's my morning. That's the law job. If I have to prepare for something for court, then I spend that segment there. If I don't, then I go to writing. And so it's just kind of balanced throughout. I break it up like that.
You have a certain amount of hours you want to get done in a week or just daily? Or
No, because my schedule is flexible. There are times where I may have to be in court 2 or 3 times a week, other times where I'm in once. So I'm just flexible with it where, you know, I don't beat myself up over it or don't set goals along that way. I just make sure, okay, this is the time that I can use for writing, do it.
Any other questions for Michael? Yes?
one character easiest to write, and if so, which one?
Nice. What was the easiest character for you?
I think Mac was the easiest, the narrator. Only because he kind of has my smart ass sort of attitude.
That's not a temper.
Yeah, he's got the same temperament as I do. I think that's what made it easy. And really when I first wrote this, the first draft was in third person, kind of stepped away, and it just didn't work. It wasn't until I actually brought him in and had him tell a story that it worked, and he was probably the easiest.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
How does writing work for you? Do the words disappear in your mind, or is it a more painful process, or do you have to imagine being a character and what that person would say? I find when I write, it's always a painful process, even though at the end it came out good. But it was almost like I'd have to get up, smoke cigarette after cigarette, sit down, smoke cigarette after cigarette. I'm wondering if you find it painful, or it's a more joyous experience for you.